Alright, you guys, crazy video for you guys today. Yep, Sketchy mechanic, DDE's old mechanic, back in the news. Stolen parts, chop shop allegations, getting parts off of McLaren, sending it to Mexico possibly. Hang in here, guys, got a bunch of craziness for you guys. Also, Wires Only, I don't know if you know that old show, but he had been arrested, allegedly, and also sued by so many people. Stick by, it's on the way.
Once the car got there, it was history. I haven't seen this since December 23rd of 2023. There's parts missing, which is irrelevant to that video in DDE. Why is parts missing? Like, I truly feel, since his thing was in Vista, that's near the border, I truly feel like either him or his employees, I think him, was doing a chop shop to Mexico or something like that.
In Lucci we trust.
That's
Otherwise we would rust. That's a must.
All right, guys. Later, Mark. Take it easy, guys. All right, Damon. Cool. Good seeing you, brother.
Legend.
You're the man, my boy.
The vlog, man, we got this thing. This is a local legend.
My brother.
Hit that subscribe button. Stop messing around.
That's right.
Let's go.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Even when I lie, I tell the truth.
How's things?
Good, man. Good.
Alright, guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, you know what to do. Reach over, smash that like and subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It don't cost you a thing. I bring you guys all the latest and greatest on the car community news. Plus, I do vlogs, traveling around, car meets, Laguna Seca, Monterey Car Week, SEMA most of the time. You name it, I'm everywhere trying to bring you guys the craziness. But most of the time, I try to focus on the car community news and bring you guys all the crazy stuff, man. First and foremost, this is going to be the first story. Make sure you guys watch to the very end. Got a little bit more stuff for you guys, so don't miss that, trust me. First off, man, DDE's old mechanic, Sketchy mechanic. As you guys know, I covered this video before. If you're new, you don't know. I did the interview with him, trying to get down the bottom and find out what happened with the alleged stolen wheels, which were, we all found out were loaned to him. It's just he didn't bring them back after. He left some of his items there, quite a bit of items. And all that stuff was getting cleared up from what I knew. And then next thing you know, I guess this guy had 2 or maybe more hospital visits. One for pneumonia, water in the lungs, and he's been hospitalized. And I just covered that video just probably about 2 weeks ago or less. So go ahead and check that video on my channel. He's laying out in the hospital bed, and I guess he's been struggling with his health. So watch that video, guys. But this video here is focused on a gentleman that reached out to me when I first did the interview, telling me that he sent the McLaren that he owns to Sketchy Mechanic to have some work done. And this was right around the time that his shop was shutting down, and he was getting ready to go work with DDE. But I know he had a bunch of issues financially and stuff like that, and the shop wasn't running well. So at the end of the day, him and a few other customers didn't get their cars completed. One of them was the Aventador that he was trying to finish at DDE's, and I guess finish that obligation for him, which he lied and said that was his uncle. That was his downfall, guys. You know, that was the reason why DDE fired him. And then after they fired him for lying, basically, I believe this gentleman was one of the gentlemen that called DDE and also called his second job that he got fired from, and said he was a scammer and that he was stealing parts and taking parts to Mexico, involved in a chop shop possibly. And if you guys don't know what a chop shop is a shop where they bring cars in and they chop it down. They take everything, guys, rims, motors, you name it. They chop it up, they take it for the parts, and they sell it off parts and leave the shell elsewhere. So that's a chop shop, guys. So I'm going to get you guys right to the story. Make sure you watch the whole thing. It's very interesting. I told the gentleman that I didn't really see anything here except for it looked like a shop was closing down, and that he didn't finish his obligation on his car. When he first got on with me, he told me on the Instagram stories, Instagram messages, that basically Sketchy Mechanic had stolen parts. He was running a chop shop and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I was like, wow, send me what you have. And when I went through it, I honestly, to be honest with you guys, give me your comment, your opinion. From when I went through everything and what he sent me, literally there was nothing missing. Even the bolts and nuts were still in the cup holder when he returned the car. As you can see when I put the images up, there was only 3 panels that were laid open. And all those panels, you can tell he was obviously working on the car on those panels. Apparently, the gentleman said he took a little too long on getting the car done, And so he, on his own, requested to have that car sent to, I believe, McLaren of Newport, and to have another mechanic put his hands on it and work on it, and took the obligation off of Sketchy. And so for that matter, that was one of the, I think, downfalls and issues as to why he had a lot of problems even more, because a lot of mechanics don't like to touch other mechanics' work after they get it done, and it's not a very good thing. So my opinion was, since I noticed that nothing was technically stolen, there was one plastic shroud that goes underneath the fender, which is like a throwaway part. It's nothing. That part was the only part missing on the whole entire car. Long story short, I said I'd cover it. I'm not biased, so I'm going to cover it, put in the information that he gave me. And for what I got, it doesn't look like anything was technically stolen. And McLaren, I guess, said that it was going to cost more than what the car was even worth to fix it, which when you take your car to a new car store, they give it to you really good, guys. That's why I take all my cars, like my Porsche, my Mercedes, all those kind of cars, to a certified mechanic that is not the Mercedes or a Porsche, because when I've done that before, the same bill that costs 10, 15, 20,000, I pay maybe 3 or 4,000 at a certified shop. So keep that in mind, guys. Hang stay to the end, and I'll come back with a little bit more information, and also on wires only being allegedly arrested.
Hey guys, I got this guy that was hitting me up in my DMs about Steve, which I didn't even know who he was talking about at first, because I guess he saw the video, from what I know. I'm not too sure, but this is what he sent me, and I was like, Steve who? Well, it was Steven, Sketchy Mechanic. And so basically at the end of the day, he starts telling me that he's running a chop shop, stole parts from his car, but yet then he tells me that there's no parts missing from his car, that he just got it back with some panels that were took down when he was probably sending parts over to Mexico. And I said, well, how do you know that? I go, was there any parts missing from your car? First he says yes. Then after I looked at the images of the car he sent me, and you can clearly see nothing was missing, and I said again, was anything missing? His own words was nothing was missing from the car, that it just wasn't fixed and it needed to be fixed. So he requested to get the car took out of his shop before he even got shut down and send it to McLaren, I guess, of Newport, by his own request.
I'd just rather do voice message, bro. But yeah, I got you. He was a private mechanic of mine. I wasn't his only victim. My McLaren went to his shop at SD Exotics in Vista, California, right? Marine Corps veteran and everything like that, right? So, every time I would take it to him, right, something would be wrong with the car later on. My McLaren was more in the shop than I got to drive it under his care. I was referred to him by the McLaren Car Company. So obviously you have to have the right certifications, which I agree, you're right. You have the right certifications, but still, you never know what somebody's going through.
And mind you guys, I'm going to give you a heads up. He was using this car for Toro, which is pretty much renting your car out to people. And you know what happens when you rent your car out to people. Just like Royalty Exotics, they crash them, they jack them up, and then they bring them right back to the person. And then they got to deal with the repairs and the major problem.
My car since December 23rd of 2023. Okay? Let's just say I've been paying $3,000 a month because I owe. It's a fairly new car. I got it financed, I'm not gonna lie. Alright? I got it financed on my personal credit reports, and then the payments are about like $3,000 a month, but I haven't had my car in my hand for over a year. Okay? Now, his insurance, because he got insurance right before he got my car, which is weird. His insurance and multiple people like myself filed the claim. Okay? The jobs that he said he kept getting fired from, it's because people like me and other people have been reporting to his job that, look, you have a scammer that you guys work for, that works for you. He owes us money. He totaled my car. So first it went to San Diego McLaren, pause. Then it went, because it didn't, when it went to San Diego McLaren,
Now remember here, guys, he says parts were missing. And as we go on in the conversation, and I tell him to send me everything you have, and we talk back and forth through the voice message here and through text, then after, when I looked at everything, I said, well, it looks like there's nothing missing. There's just like a couple panels were took down, like he was working on the car. So was there actually any parts missing from your car? And as you see here, when I go further down, he ends up saying, well, no, nothing was missing from the car. And I said, anything stolen? He said, no, it just wasn't put back together. But yet even the bolts and nuts were still in the car, in the cup holder. So it kind of contradicts that. So it's kind of a weird scenario here as to something being missing or stolen when nothing was missing or stolen once we get down to the bottom of this conversation.
So after that, I was like, who can at least diagnose to see what's up? You know what? I'll take a loss. How much is it going to be? We send it to Newport Beach, McLaren, where George is the facilitator there. And George, the rep there, will tell you how Steven is shady, how many correspondence. He was supposed to pay a $4,500 diagnosis. They said, we'll do the diagnosis. It's going to cost $4,500. I had the correspondence where he said he was going to pay for that. And then it would just take it too long. The insurance was going back and forth. Long story short, this is going to cost about $100,000 to $120,000 to fix. I owe $112 on it. I'm paying $3,000 a month. He's nowhere to be found right now. I'm hiring a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's nowhere to be found right now. Me and other people are trying to sue him.
Now, if you guys listen carefully here, he requests himself to take the car out of his shop. This is right before the shop closed and he went to work for DDE. He requested himself to take the car out of there and take it to McLaren and get it looked at. And then once you do that, he's pretty much, unfortunately, took the responsibility and the liability away from Steven and his shop. And like he said, he tried to go against the warranty and the bond, and both places denied his claim because they didn't see, I guess maybe, that he was in the wrong for anything, because there was nothing missing, and you could clearly see he was still working on the car before it was taken. And again, other mechanics, even I know, don't like to get stuff half put together and given to them because they got to start from A to Z, and that costs double the money or more to do. The guy owed $112, and they tried to say it's $120,000 to fix it. That just goes to show you that how these shops work is that they will charge you double, triple at McLaren than if you would have just kept it with Steve or somebody like Steve that would have been able to fix it. And that's pretty much how that works. Here's a video of the car.
This is what it looked like when I shipped it to him, okay? It was in pristine condition. Pristine. Okay? This is what it looked like when I shipped it to him, okay?
Okay, now when I show you guys the other footage of the car when it's apart, obviously, with, I believe, 2 to 3 panels taken down, you can clearly see it was being worked on, and the work was not done or complete. So that was why I was really like skeptical of what was going on here, because, you know, this gentleman pretty much took the car out on his own and took it away from him and took it to someone else. Whether he was taking too long or what, I don't know what their agreement is. Sometimes my mechanics, even when I give them a car, I tell them no rush, do it on your time. If you could do it cheaper or do it on the side. And again, he said he was his personal mechanic, that he had him do other jobs as well. And as you can clearly see on the text I put here, I said, okay, I'll go through everything and check it out. And I said, you could even see the nuts and bolts laying there. It doesn't look like nothing is missing. Nothing was stolen, right? Question mark. Mind you, we're going to get down to that here soon. So hang steady for that. And then here he's asking me for his phone number, which I didn't have. We were communicating through Instagram, which the same way I'm communicating with this guy. And also through voice calls on Instagram, because you can make phone calls on Instagram and talk like you're on the telephone. And that's how I did the interview. And then I told him again, when he did finally call me later and I gave him my number, he called me from a private number. And that was another way we communicated. And it's only because he didn't want me to give the number out, obviously because of maybe this guy or other people like him that were getting a hold of his job and got him fired. I believe this guy's the one that contacted DDE and told them numerous things, and that's why Dave and them were wondering what was going on. And I believe that the other second job once he left DDE, when he told you guys in the interview I did on my channel that he got fired from that job, they called him to the office and they said that they fired him because somebody said that he was scamming and he was a thief. Well, I believe that this might have been the gentleman that got him fired as well. And mind you, this was sent to me a few months ago, and when he sent this to me, I didn't know Steven, and I still don't. I never met him, nothing. All I did was the interview, and I told him, he says, hey, it seems like you know this guy, you have a relation with him. I don't even know this guy. I still don't know this guy to this day. I did all my investigation and all my stuff on my own through stuff that people in the car community sent me and stuff like that. And all the stuff when I spoke with Dave, and Dave clearly said we loaned him those wheels, and at the time they had some of his stuff, he had some of their stuff, and that was all that I had known. But I had clearly got it cleared that he didn't steal anything else from that shop of DDE, and that nothing was stolen. It was a loaned out wheels that just had not been returned yet, and he never came back to get his stuff returned to himself either, which was, I believe, a $15,000 AC unit, toolbox, laptop, and a few other items, which DDE still held on to, which I don't blame them. I would too, until I got my stuff back, which were the wheels. So that was the reason I tried so hard to get the wheels back. And here again, you can clearly say, I said I never met him. And, he's making assumptions. And I understand the guy was upset about his car. A lot of people get upset about their car. But when you start making accusations that he's running a chop shop, you have no proof. Made accusations that he stole parts, and then at the end of the conversation you clearly say he pretty much didn't steal anything and nothing was missing from the car. It was just panels that were took down. Even the bolts and nuts, once again, were still in the cup holder. Literally every part to that car was there, and when he shows the pictures later on, you can see that there's nothing missing from that car.
This number, old number, I guess. Look, alright, so I just delivered what it looks like now. Alright, missing fenders, missing parts, nuts and bolts. Like, this is unacceptable, you know? Look at that, missing fender, all of that. All of it came to me, like the windows don't work. You know, everything miscombobulated, ridiculous.
When you look at these images, you can clearly see there's a jump box in there. There's no fender missing, the fender is there. The nuts and bolts are there. You can see panels are open, like the car was clearly being repaired. See, even that piece is not missing, it's flopped over, it's laying there. So there's technically nothing missing. Look, everything is being worked on, there's a jump box there. Everything is in the car. I don't see anything missing. That's why I didn't take any interest in this at the time.
Alright guys, there it is. I laid everything out in its entirety, so I'll leave it up to you guys to leave your comment and opinion on what you think really happened here. I mean, obviously, the shop closed down, the car didn't get finished, and the gentleman's very upset. That's understandable. I get that. But as far as when I ran through everything, and there was literally just a cheap plastic shroud missing, which would probably still be at the shop that used to be there. From what I saw, there was no chop shop. There was no stolen parts. Even the nuts and bolts, again, were still in the cup holder. You can clearly see panels were laying down from somebody working on the car. Nothing was technically missing. But at the end of the day, guys, the gentleman did go through the bond and the warranty company, and all claims were denied. And it's just like car insurance, basically, if you guys don't understand how that works. Car insurance is they find out who's at fault, and then the other person will get paid. The other person won't. They'll have to go through their own insurance company. So hopefully this gentleman went through his own insurance company. I wish him the best. Sorry, very unfortunate situation for you. But, the only thing I didn't like is this gentleman was trying to claim that I knew Sketchy Mechanic, and I had some relation with him as far as like a friend or something. And I didn't know him from Adam, like I said in the comment to him. And that was what turned me off. That's why I didn't want to deal with going back and forth with this guy anymore. He wanted me so bad to cover his story, which, here it is. I covered it for you. But at the end of the day, guys, it's just not enough stuff to prove chop shop, especially nothing was stolen. When he first told me all that stuff, it turned me off because at the end of the day, I like to hear the 100% real. And I don't want to hear, oh, I assuming, I think, oh, maybe. That stuff does not mean anything, unfortunately. But on my end, I covered the story. I'm bringing you guys everything that has been current on this whole situation. And I like to get down to the bottom of things, man. This is car community stuff. This is car community news. And I've been in the car community way over 5 years. And I've been in cars for my whole entire life, guys. Like, I'm a big car guy, and I love cars. And the thing is with this, is that this is not chop shop level. There was no confirmed parts being sent to Mexico unless he sent that cheap plastic fender thing to Mexico, which I highly doubt. What are you going to get, $5 for it or $20? It's just not worth it, guys. So I did cover it. Also, in the next story, guys, is wires only, man. Wires only, man. I covered this one on my couple videos back. I'll give you a light, brief summary. But basically, this gentleman had a dealership in Beverly Hills. Kim Kardashian. A lot of people were on his show. He had a pretty good show going on. But with a lot of people, they overexceed themselves. He was writing checks he couldn't cash. He getting sued by several people. Running a dealer with no dealer's license. All kinds of crazy stuff, guys. And this guy, man, I ran into him actually in Beverly Hills. He was driving a nice white Ferrari. And, you know, at the end of the day, guys, I wish all the best. Hopefully he gets his act together, pays back everyone he owes. But he kind of was a little busted for doing alleged scams, guys, basically at the end of the day, and not running the operation properly. So, yeah, man, hopefully you guys will understand that you don't do things like that. Don't get yourself too far deep in credit cards, or writing any kind of bad checks or doing anything like that, because it will get you in big trouble, man. Comment, subscribe. Also, don't miss my DDE versus Shmee versus Gumball video, man, because, you know, Shmee went on a podcast and was just pretty much trash talking a year later, and none of it made any sense. He was backpedaling everything he said and what was going on. At the end of the day, those decals should have been pinned on the car, and he claims to be an educated man. If you're educated, then why would you not know within the first day or first hour or two by talking to Max? Maybe DDE, Damon didn't talk to you, or Dave, but I wouldn't talk to you either if you're driving around the whole time with no decals on the car. You got those stickers 2 weeks ahead. You've seen every car had it. You could have talked to one of the 50 to 100 drivers or people that were there and asked them, hey, what's going on? Why is this on your car? They would have said it's a sponsor, man. You know, you're supposed to not be a dumb person, but you don't know how to figure that kind of stuff out. Well, like you said, you thought it was a competitive team. You're going against them. So, guys, Shmee, I have another story coming on this, but don't miss the video I just did on that, man. And I break down everything and put a couple clips in from the pod. But, man, all right, guys, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Genuinely means a lot. And I'm going to keep bringing you guys the crazy stuff. And thanks so much. And I'll be bringing you guys footage from the December 1st event we're going to be having as well, guys. Big thanks to Channel 2 News.
Hi, this is Andre, my friend.
Over here, Channel 2, KTV Channel 2, and getting ready for this beautiful event that's going to be happening December 1st, and getting all these cars here and supporting people that don't really have the need to get, they don't have the ability to get toys for the holidays, so that's where Anna and her group comes in.
For the children less fortunate, and we're donating this to Oakland Random Acts Car Partners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, see you September 1st.
That's
and
right.
to Loves for Diva. Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank All right, guys. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. And gonna have a follow-up with the actual car meet. So stay tuned for that, all right, guys? All right, guys, so I'm bringing you guys vlogs too, man, not just car community news. So do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe. And this is going to be a good charity event for the kids, man. Like I said, when I grew up as a young age, I grew up in the east side San Jose, and really poor. And, you know, something like this means a lot to me, guys. So please hit that like and subscribe. If you can, in any of you guys' areas, make sure you guys do the same thing, man, and get involved with these toy drives, guys. We're out here, guys.
My brother from another.
Truth, my friend.
Cutling. That's nice. Oh, there's wires only.
Lucci!
Good to see you, man.
He has really strong knuckles. They give him a fist bump. I always have bruises after.